The 74th Tony Awards, the ones that were going to happen last year, but then the funniest thing happened. These Tony Awards will be a little bit different. In 2021, September 26th on CBS and Paramount Plus, which is good because I actually don't even have TV, like an antenna at all. I just stream. So I'm glad they're getting with the times there. And it's going to feature shows that showed in the 2019-2020 season. So shows like Moulin Rouge. We'll get into those shows later, but that's something to know. Another thing that's interesting is that there are going to be no live people in the seats watching this in the auditorium. It's going to be just the performers. And there will be a little bit fewer shows, especially in the musical category, because the season was cut off in March. I'm pretty sure if the same thing happened last Tonys, that Hadestown wouldn't have even been considered, because I don't think it officially opened until at least late March or April. I don't know who's hosting it either. I did tons of research on this. I don't even know who's hosting it. This person is hosting the Tonys. This person right here. Anyway, let's go over the nominees. I'm just going to issue a disclaimer that I personally am more passionate about the musicals than the plays, so I have a little bit more depth of knowledge. With that said, let's get to the nominees. I'm going to go ahead and start with the Best Play nominees, so if you're just interested in the musical, skip to this timestamp. I can't talk at all. I get 0 Tony Award for talkability. We have Grand Horizons, which is a play about twists and turns of a 50-year-old marriage of Bill and Nancy. It deals with the tumultuous journey of love and the reality of mental health. Funny thing about this play, it actually closed on March 1st, so they seem to be Nostradamus and be able to tell when things were gonna go bad and just noped the heck out of there. The next show on the list is The Inheritance. This is a 2-part play that focuses on 3 generations of gay men looking for belonging. I actually did a video getting into much more depth on this musical. I'll leave I think it's on this side. If I remember to, I'm gonna put the card here, but that show is nominated for Best Play. Wallace Alive took the form of 2 one-act monologues about deep concepts in life such as beauty and love and family. It's the one with Jake Gyllenhaal in it. Slave Play. This is Jeremy O. Harris's play. Jeremy O. Harris, not O. Harris, like an Irish name or something. Anyway, it's a play about race in America from the days of the Old South on the plantations to the modern day, and deals with sexual fetish like no other show has. I'm not going to go into too much detail there, but I did. Again, video right there. I went into depth on that. This is a play that, by the way, that was in the news during a Q&A after with Jeremy O. Harris. Some Karen basically stood up and said,
I don't want to hear that white people are the playing all the time.
This was a year ago or so. I did cover it. Again, video right there. I go into more detail on that. But that play is also nominated for Best Play. The Sound Inside is the 5th and final play on this list. Adam Rapp's play about the relationship of a professor and a student. Riveting, suspenseful, but kind of vague from all of the descriptions I could find online. By the way, if you happen to have seen any of these shows many moons ago when they were still running, which by the way, none of these shows are still running, so I'm not going to be able to see them or review them. But if you did get the chance to see them and you have extra insights about what they're about, feel free to leave them in the comments. I appreciate that. So those 5 shows are nominated. I'm not going to get into predictions yet. I think I'll be making a future video getting into my predictions if that's something you're interested in. And with that said, let's get to the musicals. The best part. We all know it. First on this list, Moulin Rouge the musical. This is a musical based on Baz Luhrmann's legendary film in 2001 with Obi-Wan Kenobi himself. Basically a massive remix of popular songs in a huge extravaganza, and it's got songs that obviously weren't out in 2001. It's been updated for the modern day, Katy Perry songs, etc. It's got a banger soundtrack, and this was the best-selling musical of the nominees. So if it was just by popular vote, it would probably be Moulin Rouge that would take this home. The story's pretty loose. It's more of an extravaganza than some complex plot, but the story is that of an English poet played by Aaron Tveit. I'm sorry. I'm going to be naming some names. I'm going to do my best to pronounce them. He falls in love with the star of the Moulin Rouge, Satine. On with the next musical on the list, Tina, a Tina Turner musical. Tina the musical follows the format you would probably guess. It explores the life and times of Tina from rural Tennessee to the big spotlight. It also explores her rocky relationship, to say the least, with Ike Turner, and it also explores the racism of the times and features some of Tina's greatest hits. So that sounds very interesting, but I have saved this one for last because it's got the most controversy around it that I wanted to get into. Jagged Little Pill, the musical, is based on the album Jagged Little Pill, which I'm surprised a lot of people my age have never heard of, although I'm sure you've heard of many of the songs. Ironic, Hand in My Pocket, Uninvited, many others. It was released in 1995, making it about as old as me, and this musical is about an overachieving family dealing with feeling inadequate, and Joe, who's not part of the family but is a character in the musical, we'll get to her later. or them. Again, I'll explain later. That's the character who the controversy is kind of around. The soundtrack is very engaging and very fun, especially if you appreciate the music. I know some people are really protective of the songs that they like, so if you really are attached to the album, you might not like hearing a different rendition. I'd never really gotten that personally. I love hearing covers of my favorite songs because they're just different takes on good music in my opinion. And the book is very strong. There's a pretty decent chance I might take that one for Best Book, which by the way, all three of these musicals are also nominated for Best Book. Okay, but now let's summarize. What's this controversy that I'm talking about? It's a bit of a mess, but I'll summarize it as best as I can. By the way, if you see me looking down, I just wrote some notes, and since this is an informative video, I just want to make sure it's accurate, so please excuse that. But the part of Jo, played by the very talented Lauren Patton, is a lesbian character. She's also cisgender in the Broadway version, but from some bootlegged clips from the original off-Broadway production, the character was quite clearly non-binary. Now, the fact that they changed her from non-binary to binary to sort of make it more digestible for, you know, the rich people who have to buy tickets for the show, that alone I don't love. But what really kicks it is this next part. Fans expressed disdain over this obvious change, especially non-binary ones, because they felt like they were being represented and that was being taken away from them. But the production basically did this like panel conference video on YouTube, and they basically tried to say that Jo was always cisgender in both the Broadway and off-Broadway version, and this was a full-on lie when you watch the bootlegs, and it came off as gaslighting the fans. So I personally chose not to add this show to my list because I just don't like how they flat out lied about their intentions with the character. I'm not sure if just them changing the character to a cis lesbian character would have made me not buy a ticket. I don't love the move at all, but I don't think that's super egregious compared to what they actually did, which is that they gaslit the fans who were upset about it. So those are the musicals on the list. In short, real quick, I'm going to go over some of the revivals, which are plays. I'm going to go over those real quick. Then I'm going to list out the actors and actresses who are all nominated for Tonys in their categories. And then for a lot of the smaller categories that are more behind the scenes based, I'm basically just going to list through some of those that you can find. And then I'll put a link in the description. Okay, here's some revivals. So we have Betrayal, which is in the style of the last 5 years. It's a story told backwards from the divorce of a couple. Uh-oh, is it out of focus? Oh gosh. To the sparks flying at first love. So it's told in reverse. It's the one with Loki in it. By the way, if my face goes in and out of focus, it's a new camera. I love the camera, I just don't have any idea how to use it, so I'm still learning all that. I'm probably gonna have to ditch this mic because it takes the focus away. Anyway, let's move on. Next show, Frankie and Johnny and the Claire de Lune. I am low-key bitter, speaking of Loki, about not being able to see this because I was actually in New York when it was running. I had a ticket to see it, but there's actually a blackout that was affecting all of Manhattan, and it was like all over the news and stuff, and I didn't get to see that show, obviously. I wanted to see it because Audra McDonald is in it. She's a Fresno native. I am here in Fresno, so I thought it would be really fun, but I'll have to see her another time. It's about a waitress and a chef who have a date and it goes crazy, blah blah blah. Okay, next one. Sorry, again, I'm more passionate about the musicals. What can I say? A Soldier's Play is about an investigation into the murder of a black sergeant on a Louisiana Army base in 1944. The investigator faces an uphill climb against the white leadership who don't want him to uncover the crime. Those are the revivals. They're nominated for Best Revival of a Play. There is no category for Best Revival of a Musical, as there just aren't enough selections to go with. Alright, so those are the productions. Now I'm going to go into the list of the other nominations, specifically involving actors and actresses. I'm going to start with the musicals, and then I'll go on to the plays. Best performance by a leading actress in a musical are Karen Olivo from Moulin Rouge, Elizabeth Stanley from Jagged Little Pill, and Adrienne Warren from Tina, a Tina Turner Musical. Nominated for Best Actor in a Leading Role in a Musical,
Aaron Tveit
from Moulin Rouge, and that's it. He is literally the only one. He's already presumably won the Tony. Congratulations, Aaron. Nominated for Best Featured Actress in a Musical, Kathryn Gallagher, Jagged Little Pill, Celia Rose Gooding, Jagged Little Pill, Robin Herder, Moulin Rouge, Lauren Patton, Jagged Little Pill, and Myra Lucretia Taylor from Tina Turner Musical. Again, I am sorry if I butcher her name. Best Featured Actor in a Musical. Nominees are Danny Bernstein from Moulin Rouge, Derek Klana, Jagged Little Pill, Sean Allen Krill, Jagged Little Pill, Saran Gaja, Moulin Rouge, and Daniel J. Watts, Tina, a Tina Turner Musical. Real quick, I'm going to go over the plays nominees. Male actor in a leading role in a play, Ian Barford, Linda Vista. Andrew Burnap, The Inheritance. Jake Gyllenhaal, Seawall of Life. Tom Hiddleston, Betrayal. Tom Sturridge, Seawall of Life. And Blair Underwood, A Soldier's Play. Best actress in a lead role in a play, Joaquina Calacango, Slave Play. Laura Linney, My Name is Lucy Barton. Audra McDonald, Claire de Lune. And Mary Louise Parker, The Sound Inside. Best supporting actor in a play, Otto Blankson Wood, Slave Play. James Kusati Moyer, Slave Play. David Allen Greer, A Soldier's Play. John Benjamin Hickey, The Inheritance. Paul Hilton, The Inheritance, and Best Supporting Actress in a Play, Jane Alexander, Grand Horizons, Chalia Latour, Slave Play, Annie McNamara, Slave Play, Lois Smith, The Inheritance, and Cora Vanderbroek, Linda Vista. Again, my handwriting's kind of weird. I wrote these down kind of quick, so if I screwed up, it's probably because I didn't write it down correctly. Okay, I'm not going to go into all the categories, but other categories you can see if you're interested. I'll leave a link to the actual Tony's website down below. The Best in a Play and Musical, Scenic Design, Costume Design, Lighting Design, Sound Design, Direction, Choreography, Orchestrations, and other special categories such as Lifetime Achievements. There's also a Best Original Score, which I actually kind of missed, A Christmas Carol, The Inheritance, The Rose Tattoo, Slave Play, and The Sound Inside. They're the only ones that have original scores. Even the 3 musicals are not original scores. It's Tina Turner music, Alanis Morissette's album, and pop culture music in Moulin Rouge. Interesting fact there. But there you go. Whew, those are all the nominations and categories for the Tony Awards. If you want more details, again, I'll link in the description down below. But I hope this was at least an entertaining guide to the Tonys for you. I'd love to know some of your predictions, some of your thoughts. Who do you think's going to win for Best Actor in a Leading Role in a Musical? I'm not sure. Just kidding. I will be making my predictions in another video, and I'll be giving some of my reasonings. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead and click subscribe. I will have that video soon. Click like if you enjoyed this video. Again, leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these nominations. Keep loving theater, and I will see you next time.